Do you remember when spending money used to feel kind of fun? Now I walk into a store for one thing and I leave with a $78 emotional support cup and a protein brownie that tastes like stale drywall. Somewhere along the line, we started paying luxury prices for aggressively mediocre products. We are now in this weird era where marketing companies can put buzzwords on a product and we will just slap over our credit card or Klarna or Afterpay just because it sounds good, putting the words viral, protein, limited edition, premium. Those words for some reason just get us to start spending money. Here we go. Number one is going out to eat and fast food. Let's hit fast food specifically. Now, I don't know about you, but I grew up in a poor house. In the 80s, when I was a child, what were McDonald's prices in the 80s? Let's take a look-see. A quarter pounder, no cheese, $1.10. A Big Mac was $1.20. The hamburger was 50 cents. That was the scenario in which I grew up because the 50-cent hamburger, still too much money. But you could argue that fast food used to be a very budget-friendly convenience item. Now it's just like really expensive disappointment. I will say that the Costco pizza and the rotisserie chickens and the $1.50 hot dog and drink, they are still beating everybody. So if you must, those are acceptable to me. Next is Starbucks. And I know it feels like I am personally attacking Starbucks, and maybe I am a little bit, because I don't see the point in spending that much money on a cup of coffee when you can make it at home yourself for cheaper, and it will probably be better. The truth is, if you like all of the Starbucks fancy drinks, you probably just like sugar a lot. As a fellow sugar lover, I feel you. A small Americano coffee is $4. The 2026 spring drinks start at $7. My town just got Dutch Bros, and that line through the drive-thru is wrapped around the thing all the time. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of people over at the Dutch Bros. And she's like, yeah, my daughter goes. And I was like, your daughter's going through to get a coffee? She's like 16. And she's like, no, she really likes the smoothies that they have. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that they had smoothies. She's like, yeah, they're $13 each. 13 for one drink. Now that's more than McDonald's. I cannot. I think at that price, if you bought a Ninja Creamy on sale, because retail's for suckers, you would end up paying less in the long run. It's very possible for your daily Starbucks habit or your daily Dunkin' or your daily Dutch Bros run is equaling a monthly car payment by the time you get to the end of it. At $7 a day, are you also adding a muffin? Are you adding breakfast? Now we're over 10. To be honest, most of us don't even want like Starbucks. Necessarily, what you want is to leave the house and do something exciting and maybe get a little treat.
I feel exposed.
Maybe plan something that's not buying the treat. Maybe make the treat at home, but like go to the park, go take a walk. Maybe hit up your library because everything there is already been covered by your city taxes. Have you noticed that every food on the market has been diagnosed with a protein deficiency? We've got protein cereal, protein chips, protein Pop-Tarts, protein ice cream, protein candy bars, protein cookies. I am not anti-protein. In fact, I am pro-protein. I pay attention to my macros, I lift weights, I exercise, I bike, I do races. At some point, the snack/food industry realized they could take a snack food or a regular item like granola, this is homemade granola, sprinkle a little whey protein powder on it, and then put the words like high protein in huge letters across the thing, and now it's a premium product and they can charge a whole lot more money, and we buy it because it feels reasonably healthy while I still get to enjoy my chips and my brownies and my ice cream. The money spent on viral trends, this one, to be honest, is not one I understand. It's like Beanie Babies 2.0. I grew up in the time where Beanie Babies were huge collector items and people were saying, do you know what these are gonna be worth someday? All this money, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that is not what happened. And so these days we've got Labubu dolls. I understand some trends. This one is not one I understand. Designer keychains, limited edition sneakers, and the cups. Oh my lottie, the cups. And what's interesting is every viral trend that you have to have goes through its own reiteration, and a different brand, it's all the same thing. So I have seen like the must-have cup go from Hydro Flask to Yeti to Stanley to Awala. Is that the one that's going on right now? Like, what's the next one going to be? We have seen videos of women like punching each other to get a limited edition Stanley color. I have found Stanley cups, they cost $45 at like a Target. I have seen them at a thrift store for $2. Speaking of thrift stores, walk into one and you will see a graveyard of former trends. Chevron patterns, Ray Dunn mugs, chunky costume jewelry, you know, the big colored one like this. It's so 2010. Yeah, I had one of those necklaces. The motivational wall signs, live, laugh, love. And then every single once must have collectible. Trends feel permanent when you're in them, but they almost never are. What's interesting to me about viral trends is how fast they move. It used to feel like trends would last for several years, but now here in 2026, it's like every couple of months, the internet collectively decides that one random object is suddenly the most important thing on earth. And because of social media and our online lifestyle these days, we only see the beginning of trends. When everyone is excited, showing off their newest purchase, we rarely see the ending, where the item becomes clutter and quietly gets donated 6 months later because the next trend has already showed up. Here's a good question to ask yourself. Would I still want this item if nobody online knew what it was and nobody online would know that I own it? Would I still be as excited to have it? And if the answer is yes, then maybe it's an okay purchase. One of the easiest ways to save money is to keep an eye on your grocery bill, your food intake, right? I am only here for the food. And there's so many options out there, it's hard to know which ones are the best value. Where you get the food delivered right to your door via DoorDash or Instacart, these are gonna be a no from me, dog. And you might be wondering about meal box kits. Well, I just did an entire video comparing meal box kit to meal box kit to meal box kit. And what I found is that Every Plate was the most budget-friendly winner that everyone in my family likes, very kid-friendly, and the best financial deal out of all of the options by far. So if you want a way to make it simpler to eat at home, you don't want to drive to the grocery store because gas prices, you don't want to have it delivered because those additional fees, and you don't want to throw food away because that's just money going in the garbage, guess what? Every Plate is sponsoring today's video, and they are going to hook you up with an amazing deal today. Every Plate sends you everything that you need to cook dinner. The ingredients are pre-portioned, the recipes are included with new, delicious, and easy to follow recipes every week. In fact, I sometimes send a very inexpensive box to my 19-year-old son, and I always choose the fastest, like done in 15-minute options, which gets him some home-cooked meals right to his doorstep so he doesn't have to grocery shop so much, and he gets to practice his cooking skills out of the house. If you've got college-age kids, it's a really nice little hack. And this is cool, the Every Plate menu just got an upgrade. Bolder flavors, 50% more chicken, double the fresh veggie varieties, and homemade pizzas every week. My friends, I freaking love pizza. I could eat pizza and burgers every day and be happy. That's how you know I'm an American without me telling you that I'm an American. Also, I love apple pie. Here's my favorite hack is when I travel and I go to an Airbnb, I always send an Every Plate box to the Airbnb because everything is pre-portioned. I don't have to like run to the grocery store for a little bit of mayo and a little bit of this and a little bit of that and make all these sauces. It makes traveling so convenient and it is so much cheaper than going out to eat when you're trying to feed a family. 98% of Every Plate customers say that it saves them time and makes dinner less stressful, and the most important part, are the meals delicious? Yes, indeed they are. So if you want an awesome deal, all you need to do is go to everyplate.com right now, or you can click the first link in the doobly-doo below. Use the code FFM299 and get $2.99 per meal on your first box plus 10% off for a month. So first link in the bloop, it's code FFM299 at everyplate.com for $2.99 per meal on your first box. And you might even have an answer when people ask, well, what's for dinner? I don't think going to the movies is worth the money anymore. And this is coming from someone who really loves movies. When I was in high school in the 90s, we could go to the movies very inexpensively, and I went a lot. every month would bring out 20 to 25 new movies, big blockbusters, small budget movies, whatever. And a regular matinee was just a couple bucks. I could go in the evening for like $5. And if you weren't buying candy at Eckerd, rest in peace, Eckerd, and hiding it in your purse and carrying it in, you grew up rich, okay?
We are rich.
We could not afford those movie theater whoppers, you know what I'm saying? It had to be from a drugstore or we went without. And the best part was $1 Tuesday nights. That's right, we could go to the movie theater for $1. And so we went to the movies all the time. I personally saw Titanic in the movie theater like 3 times. Young Leo, am I right? First of all, they don't even release that many movies anymore. Number 2, all of the movie theaters where I live haven't been remodeled in 35 years, so they're a little creaky, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure that they've cleaned the floor, so it's like you pull your foot up and it's like a little sticky, you know? I was in Colorado recently and I wanted to take my family to go see a movie, and I was like, oh, the matinee will be cheaper, no big deal. It was $12 a person for a matinee, 60 bucks just to get in. That's not popcorn, that's not a beverage, that's nothing.
Not up in here!
To me right now, it does not make sense anymore. I actually can't even remember the last movie I saw in the movie theater. My daughter did go see Project Hail Mary and Michael, and she said they were both fantastic. Have you seen those? Should I just go or should I stream them? This is what I'm saying. I think the last movie I saw in the theater was the last Mission Impossible movie. When was that? A year ago? I bet it was so much longer than a year ago, but listen, to me, 1999 was like 5 years ago.
Actually, I have no concept of time.
Buying physical books at retail prices. I'm not paying $20 for one book that I will read one time and then donate. So I like to either go to the thrift store, but it has to be certain thrift stores because some stores like Goodwill are charging $5 for a used book. I have another store, it's like a crisis center that has a thrift store attached to it. Their books are 50 cents. Now that's what I'm talking about. The Second Chance little store at the library where all of the funds go back into funding the library services. Yes, I will go there. And speaking of library, do you have a library card? When was the last time you set foot in the library? I, in fact, was there a few days ago. I checked out 10 books. And if you want to keep books, you don't want to use a library because you want to keep your favorites, great. Curate your favorite books and read them over and over again. Some I read over and over again. Ender's Game, I have read at least 25 times. And Where the Red Fern Grows is one of my all-time favorite stories ever. Speaking of thrifting, let's talk about how thrifting doesn't make any financial sense anymore. And I'm looking at you, Goodwill. When I was in high school, I could go to Goodwill and walk out with basically an entire new wardrobe for $8. Several high quality shirts, a couple pairs of pants, maybe a dress. But the rise of online and resellers have definitely turned thrift stores into this weird place where everything is marked so expensive it does not make sense. I went to a thrift store looking for just some basic button-ups for my sons. They're stained, they're pilled, they don't even look that good, they're 10 bucks. I can go over to Walmart and get a brand new non-stained shirt for my son for 10 bucks. So if I'm spending the same $10 in either direction, I am going to get the non-stained, non-pilled new product. I have seen Shein labeled items at Goodwill for more expensive than I can buy Shein items for new on their website and have them shipped to my house. Not that I recommend that, I think the quality is very bad, but I'm just saying. Quick caveat, thrift stores are still good for certain items. I can still find certain deals here and there. Some kitchenwares are pretty good. If you're in the market for a George Foreman grill, I always see one of those. And if you're consistent and depending on where you live, you might have better quality thrift stores than another place. Mine in my area are not that good. Streaming services. Now, we did not have cable in my house growing up because we didn't have a lot of stuff.
We were poor, but we had love.
I don't know that I ever had cable, but when I got married, I was able to negotiate a great price on Dish Network after I'd been married for a couple of years. I think the year was 2008. For the first time ever, I had more than bunny ears. at my house. And I was able to negotiate $25 a month for Dish Network with the most revolutionary technology I'd ever seen in my life. Pausing live TV.
What an exciting time to be alive.
For those that didn't grow up in that era, it was like magic. And for those that did, hook me up with a thumbs up if you haven't yet, because you know what I'm saying. I didn't know how it worked. I just knew it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. And then Netflix came around. Netflix revolutionized everything. Netflix single-handedly put Blockbuster out of business. And then cable went by the wayside. And then it's all been downhill from there. I have beef to pick with Netflix. Okay, they got rid of How I Met Your Mother, and they got rid of Supernatural. Not to mention they got rid of Friends a few years ago. Netflix, what are you doing? I log into Netflix and I'm like, there's nothing to watch on here. I don't want to watch anything on here, which means I need to go to a different streaming service. Is it Peacock? Is it HBO Max? And do I want to watch ads or do I not want to watch ads, or do I want to get the premium? Now, I understand ads on free services. Like, I make this content for you guys, you don't have to pay anything to watch it, and Google's gonna run some ads in here, or I may have a sponsor in the video paid for by the company, but you still get to enjoy it for free. So on some level, the ads don't bother me too much. It's that I have to pay $17 for this one, and $11 for this one, and $20 for this one. And not one of them has like all the things. I just wanna pay one bill, is what I'm saying. Like back when I had Dish Network. Those were the days, and I didn't even know it. So let's talk about how you can lower your streaming services costs. I already talked about the library. Guess what? They also have movies and TV and audiobooks and digital content. So please check out your local library. Your library probably is associated with the Libby app, where you can get online books for free also. Number 2, there are free streaming services. The 2 that come to mind are Pluto TV and Tubi. I just went on to watch that old 90s movie, Can't Hardly Wait. Dude, that movie is funny. And it was on like Tubi for free. You don't have to pay for free stuff. And I've said this before, but if you go to YouTube, there's a button that says movies and TV, and you can sort by free, and they'll have a bunch. Like, you could just watch them here on YouTube. And the one I've been saying for years on my channel, just rotate the ones you do want. So for me personally, Disney is really housing all the stuff I want to watch. They have Supernatural, they've got tons of movies. They've got How I Met Your Mother, which is like on repeat at my house. It's only gonna be that one. And then once I've watched everything to my heart's content, then I will switch. I'll cancel that one, I'll do another one. And the best part about that is they always do Black Friday sales. So if you don't have them when Black Friday rolls around, guaranteed you will pay a low, low price. I'm talking like $3 a month. Now that is worth it. Skincare and beauty routines. Somewhere along the line, skincare stopped being about like hygiene and turned into a laboratory experiment. Now, to be completely transparent, I grew up in a house where I was modeled and told to not use products or use a lot of makeup or wear jewelry or anything like that. My mom is very natural. She wears no makeup to this day, still doesn't wear makeup of any kind. My dad and my brother, if I tried to put mascara on, would be like, what are you doing? You don't need any of that. Which, looking back on it, was probably a very positive experience, but I never learned how to do makeup, how to do hair, what jewelry was nice. But what you see now are these like 14-step beauty procedures on a girl who's 21 and has the skin of an angel. Here's the truth. Most people don't need dozens and dozens and dozens of products. We buy them because we want to look a certain way. Because if I had this one product, maybe I'd be as pretty as her. If I had this one product, maybe I would look 35 instead of 45. And the truth is, simpler routines often do work better. Now that I'm becoming an advanced age or whatever, I'm looking to dermatologists. I want to know what's going to keep the fine lines away. I want to know what's going to moisturize but not cause me to break out, because that's the most fun thing that's ever happened. Wrinkles and acne. Yay!
Win, win, win.
No.
A couple of very simple basics can go a really long way. I would talk to your dermatologist to get an expert's opinion. And please don't take makeup advice from me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Did I miss any items that are totally not worth your money anymore? Let me know down in the comments. And when you are tempted to buy something, you need to ask yourself the question, have I just been marketed to really well, or do I actually want this item? Some of the best things in my life are things that don't cost that much. Cooking at home, riding my bike outside, spending time with my family, playing some games, going on a hike with my friends, reading books I already own, and using what I already have. Turns out, enough is a pretty nice place to be. And if you haven't done it yet, hit the subscribe button. That still is totally free. I'll see you next time. Bye. But wait, there's more. My friend, you might know that I have 2 dogs. One is a toy poodle we have had since 2015. He's not doing well. He was 5 when we got him, which makes him 16 years old now. He's basically blind. His joints don't work very much. He's on an all wet diet, so he just kind of sleeps all day, to be honest. Our other dog is the one you've seen a lot more often, Rogue. We got Rogue as a puppy. We trained her to be a trail dog. She is a Bernedoodle, so she is 75% poodle, 25% Bernese mountain dog. She loves the outdoors. She loves to run. She is a high energy and she loves the cold. Because we trained her to be a trail dog, she goes off leash with us when we go mountain biking and trail running and hiking. But did I mention she's a high energy dog? Girl needs exercise. She is 4.5 years old. So we decided to take her out to a local trail system that's fairly new. It's very close to our house. We brought our bikes, so we go out and we're enjoying the scenery. What a gorgeous evening. It's sunset, the weather is perfect. A couple of other people are out with their families, a couple of bikes, a couple of hikers, and I'm always keeping my eyes open when there are other dogs. Not because she is a reactive dog, but because I don't know how the other dogs are going to act. So I see a dog off in the distance and I call her to come by me so she can stay by me and it'll be fine, which she does, and it's fine. And then the other dog gets a little closer and oh my gosh, I have never seen a dog so big in my life. It was this brown monstrosity that looked part Great Dane and part horse. I swear that dog's head was about here, the armpit of the guy that was walking him. He was on a leash, but I don't know that that would have made that big of a difference because that dog looked like it outweighed its owner. Oh my gosh, have you ever seen a dog this big?
I'm a Mog. Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
His jaw looked like he could smash my head with one bite. I don't know what kind of dog it was. My husband literally thought it was a horse until he got a little closer and then we were like, oh, what is happening? Can you tell me what dog, what breed of dog would look like part Great Dane and part horse? Because I have never seen anything like it in my life.